Testing, testing. One, two, three, testing. Let's go. One more shot. Get it right. Let's go.
Good evening, everyone. Taibu Muad'Dib, host, podcast entertainer, author, motivational speaker.
The issue of gun violence isn't going away because there are
every weeknight, 9:30-ish p.m. We go crazy. In fact, we going nuts right now. Hit it, Shay. Come on, a little bit more. Yeah. It's cold out here, y'all. And I'm telling you one thing. It's amazing. How come they don't know? No one's life is the Cosby Show. Killer cops is nothing new to melanated people, bro. Not in the America that locks us up for mega busting, legalized prostitution so the mob can get their cut. CIA agents bringing dope in from the south and spread it through the hood so we can take each other out. The sadness in the hood isn't just some recent shit. It's the same thing that you can see on the slave ship. Trauma passed through generations lead to a peculiar life. Can't believe in freedom, even if one of your parents right. I'ma do it right, cause I'm conscious and I know the way. I got roots in Africa. Pittsburgh was my birthing place. International businessman from inmate 15208. African Messiah, dog. Someone had to save the day. All you want is metaphors about the club and freaking horse. Stacking up your paper, flashy cars, and them foreign tours. Don't you know it's war? They coming after you with all they got. It starts out with Congress, yeah. Them the folks who scheme and plot. Once they pass the laws, it's on you and I to know what's up. And since we don't, that's how come the jails are jam-packed with us. I got my fist raised. And unity is in my heart. No matter who you are, come and live your truth. That's how it starts. Yeah. That's how it starts. Go get it. Go, 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 go. Don't you know it's war? They coming after you with all they got. All you want is metaphors. International businessman. Can't believe in freedom. Pleasure to meet each and every one of you. Taibu Muad'Dib and Shay. This is Live Your Truth. Pull up a chair. Get your popcorn ready. Let's make it happen together. We appreciate you for joining us. Tap in.
Taibu Muad'Dib coming at you one more time. It's Live Your Truth. It's time for us to reflect on where we've been. You've seen You're a Mess. You saw it raw, live and in living color. It turned into Live Your Truth. We wanted sports. We wanted to get some feedback on some things. We wanted to make sure that we were covering all bases, that you could jump in here and talk about anything. I did that for you. All right. That's a beautiful thing. NBA finals going on, NHL going on. You already know what it is. So let's stop playing with it. What's happening right now, you already know. You got to think about some of the things that's been going on and how they've been transpiring. When you look at it, you look at an NBA finals.
Power on.
That is pretty much even Steven. Stars on both sides at different positions. It's going down very, very competitive matchup. And it's been, it's not often that we see it like that. Usually it's just one team really smacking the other. But that's not really what we have right now. Jimmy Butler just won't be denied. The Heats and the Nuggets, they're going back and forth. it's a 20-point lead almost for the Nuggets this time around. But hey, it's all about going game for game, blow for blow. Just want to get that out there, man. So if you're a Nuggets fan, you out there in Denver, man, shout out to you. We respect you. You just have to want it more than the other guy. When you get to NBA Finals, everybody knows everybody's talented. You just have to want it more than the other guy. That's what it comes down to. So this is episode, right? Extremely happy and appreciative of being alive, of being well. When you go through a transition, it's not always easy. It's just something that you kind of expect, right? You want things to go your way, but it doesn't go your way all the time. And then you have to be able to use your mind and outthink other individuals. You have to use your heart and outwill other individuals, right? You just have to want it more. I'm telling you out right now, as a certified achievement coach, as a great motivator, you just have to want it more sometimes. All right. If I was to look at the year 2023, if I was to look at 2013 and what was happening in my life, how things were going, where I was living at, what I was doing to progress, this was before I became conscious. So I'm telling you right now, I was still in a worker mentality. I was still in the mentality where if I worked hard enough and saved and put away things, I could advance. Or if I started my own business, really didn't have any idea about business credit, stuff like that. But just if I started a business and I could run and market it and be successful, and I already done that it would be so. Really not really having any of the skill sets necessary, having research skills, but not having done the research. So everything that I really wanted to do and I was trying to do, I was unprepared for. When I became conscious, I just realized that there wasn't a progression path that you go through. Recently, I had opportunity to, establish a routine with someone, to try to establish some stability with someone, but you can get involved in something that's so broken, it can't be fixed. At the same time, you already know that when you apply yourself to something, no matter what it is, you come out of it better. If you really apply yourself, give 100%, turn 10%, you become a better person for it, win, lose, or draw. So when I look back at 2013 and how things were going and where I was at and where I was living compared to now, I talked about my first million back then. I did. I think I started talking about my first million right after I started my own business, Heavenly Body. Shout out to Madison, Wisconsin, and the whole South Side. The South Side of Madison, Wisconsin. The one thing I can say about the South Side of Madison, Wisconsin is that it was one of the last neighborhoods where you had to fight and that was it. Nobody was respecting the gunplay. It really hadn't come into a situation yet. Like people saw folks that really couldn't put their hands up and take care of themselves, man to man. Like we saw them as soft. No one really used the gun. No one really wanted to die, but it was okay to call out somebody your size, your age, whatever, whatnot, and go back and forth, right? So it was like at that point, like when I watch UFC and I can understand, I can relate to it, right? When you have 50 people out there and that's their guy, you're the guy for your squad, and you got to step up, people understand like hand-to-hand combat. Like, first of all, there has to be a point. Somebody's going to win, don't get me wrong, but there has to be a point to it, right? Otherwise, why are you fighting? So at that time, it was just like you was fighting to make sure everybody knew your team was strong all the way down, right? So not bagging down from individuals, not being afraid of individuals, that was the part of what our neighborhood was about. You take that and you bring that into the office space, the corporate world, on sports, on the field. What that does is it puts you like in a rare space because a lot of people, they're really concerned about what people think about them or how they're going to perform, right? But when you, like from my neighborhood, when we grew up, like you knew you just went out there and gave it your all and your people was going to respect you. So To all you lazy, ungrateful people out there that's not really satisfied or appreciative of what you have and what's been given to you, or opportunities that you have to elevate, I'm letting you know right now, no one's ever going to respect that or respect you. And if you're not giving 110% at life, if you're not appreciative of life that you've been given, you don't respect yourself. Everybody knows that. That's why nobody's going to respect you. Now, people are always going to be around you because of what they can get from you. It does. People who are around you, cheering you on, patting you on the back, it doesn't mean they respect you at all. So don't kid yourself. I'm letting you know right now. If you're not giving 110% towards something, if you're not trying to build yourself or be a blessing to somebody else, everybody knows who you are. No need to talk about that. Back at 10 years ago or even 20 years ago, if I look at how I was living in a darker state of mind, in a lost state of mind, people could take advantage of things that I was a part of. People, tried to send me off and things of that nature. They attempted to. The reason that I really wasn't susceptible to those types of situations was I was always so busy trying to build myself. Imagine this. I was a guy, what's going on, Kendra? I was a guy that was trying to build myself and I had no knowledge of self. That makes sense, everybody? So if you're trying to build yourself and you don't have any knowledge of self, you're the blind leading the blind. You're literally going in a circle. The interesting thing about when they said that, I didn't know what that meant till I became conscious. If somebody tells you that you're going in a circle, what that actually means is that in a circle, if you go in a circle, you think that you're actually going somewhere, you think that you're advancing, you're curving all the way back around, you're going to start over again. So it's a cycle. When they say perpetuate the cycle, that's what they mean. All right. I'm going to give you that sound. Write that down. So when I look back and I reflect on where I was at and how I continue to cycle myself to freedom, back to jail, to freedom, back to jail, I literally thought that I was really advancing. I was just going through the same cycle. Come up dollars, spend it, go crazy, get buck wild, go to jail again, start all over again. If you can imagine this, as a lost individual, every time they was like, "Up, your time's up. Here go your paper." They give you a sheet of paper, whatever. What about you? Every time I hit that door, I swear to you, each and every one of you, that was it. That was the last time. It was ridiculous. Here's how entrenched I was in that mentality. I'm talking about in 2013, still yet, 10 years ago. This is how entrenched I was in that mentality, right, y'all? I was so entrenched in that mentality. Couldn't nobody tell me anything different in the jailhouse or outside of it. Oh, you're going to be back. You're going to be back. Like they would say that. And I'm like, oh, man, you tripping. You don't know me. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody. Because if you're not giving 110% towards what's going to actually help you change, everybody knows who you are. How do you be supportive towards or of somebody or with somebody? How do you be supportive of somebody that you can't tell anything? And reflecting on myself, I'm going to help somebody out tonight. How do you if you're friends or family? Because I have lifelong friends. I have lifelong friends. It got to the point where I hit an epiphany. I was starting to come out of my lost mentality. I asked my friend, well, both my best friends at the time I reached out to them, I said, man, you knew I was crazy like that? How come you ain't tell me? And both of them in different words had kind of like the same response. Like, man, you my dude, I thought that's just how you was going to be the whole time. But, you my dude, I can't judge you. It's not I'm perfect, right? I mean, it was just like, you my guy, you down with me, you down to get down whenever, we can get out there and make it happen, make money, we can bust gun, we can do whatever we want to do, we can go nuts, you know what I'm saying? I just thought that that's who you were. So I'm not trying to change you, bro. I love you where you is, you my guy, you my dude, right? This is what's going on out here. So would anybody challenge my friends? If my friends were here on the show with me, if they just on the show, would you guys challenge them? If you're friends with somebody that hits women, like really beats them up, you know what I'm saying? What does that say about you? Would you stop that person? Would you sit them down? Would you continue to be friends with them? How far does apple fall from the tree? Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean you have to be about that or believe it yourself. But if you're close to somebody, aren't you in some way, shape, or form an enabler? Running the streets, selling drugs. I mean, I think one of I keep coming back to this for y'all that don't understand. I think one of my worst sales ever, right, was literally hopping in a van, like one of those conversion vans, like one of those vans where all the windows on the side, like the Scooby Doo van, right? One of them kind of vans, got the windows, fenced out, right? Got the little ottoman in the middle that spins, right? Hop in the van, petite European chick. She had 3 kids in the vehicle. It was like the girl was the oldest, then the boy, and it was like an infant, like right there in the baby seat. And she out there scoring crack, right? And you know, this is how you do it. They all dimes, but I got them in my hand. I'm like, pick the one that's biggest. To a crackhead, they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you want to sell a 2 for 15. What's going on, Kane? You want to sell a 2 for 15, right? So you trying to make her think that there's 2 of them in there that's bigger than the rest, so you can bust a 2 for 15 out, but they all dimes. So why I tell her what's going on, fam? So when I put I got maybe 5 or 6 rocks in my hand. I might pick the one that's biggest to you. That's how you treat a dope fiend, right? So I was picking one the biggest to you. And when she was, sifting through them, I happened to lock eyes with the 2 kids. And for that moment, I was like, it was just really weird. I was like, this ain't me. I could relate. Dad left, you know what I'm saying? Mom strung out on crack. Like I'm now the guy that was selling crack to my mom in a certain sense. Y'all get what I'm saying? It's a moment I can't take back. It's like dirt I can't wash off my body. You know what I'm saying? That memory that's something that's imprinted in my mind of like what not to do. That's not how I want to feel about myself. If you out there, that's why I say if you out there, man, doing what you do, that's what you believe. I'm telling you, it's wrong, but it's going to take for your support group and network to distance themselves from you. My dude CJ, my dude LP, Kurt Brown, like a lot of people I'm close to. Like if these guys would have been like, man, I can't rock with you no more, bro. That might have been a wake up call for me. Because as crazy as I was, I'm still a social person. So it would have caused me to think on a different level. Don't get me wrong. My guy talked to me one time. He did. And he was like, my guy Cecil was like, man, every time a chick asked me about how you act and why you do stuff like that, whatever, he was like, when they say that, he did this, he did that. He said, man, it messes me up. He said, but I get how you was raised. He said, but I'm telling you, you don't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, bro. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm just trying to put it out there. I'm just reflecting tonight on where I was to where I'm at now, but people don't know. A lot of people see me now. I live in Dallas, Texas, the city of Arlington. The DFW is a big metroplex full of a whole bunch of cities, and I'm in Arlington right now. But, I'm just saying, people see me and they're like, oh, he has it all together. I don't. Close, but I'm not there yet. But I'm way far away from where I used to be. So I'm breaking it down to you. Live your truth. You guys are welcome to come on the show, man. If you want to hop on the show with me and hop in the live studio with me on YouTube, just say it, put it in the comment section. I'll send you the link. It's no problem. I'll do it right now. So what I'm saying to each of you is this. Like at that point in moment in time, the things that I was doing, even though I wasn't proud of it, I might not have been put 100% in it, but it was really helping me get by. I could have made a lot of different decisions about how to get by. Was I lazy to sell crack and stuff like that? I don't know. My man, I'm gonna shoot my man the link. Where am I? I'm on. I think Facebook is over here and Instagram is up there, if I'm not for sure. I don't know. I got my this is Instagram, that's Facebook. I'm gonna shoot. I don't know. I don't know if I can shoot you the link, Kane. What you gotta do though, let me see how could I get that link on there. I wonder. How can I get that link on there? I wonder. If you were on Instagram, it'd be different. Facebook, they've been shutting. I'll send out like 9 links, and Facebook has shut my messaging down, so I really can't do that. But I believe on Facebook, what I could do is I could post a link. Let me post the link for you, man. You can hop in here, man, and live your truth with me. Kane Pierre, man, like, yeah, we was locked down in Dane County. Don't do that. Don't do the Dane County thing. Whoo-wee. Dane County Jail, like, y'all don't know, Dane County Jail, them cops will beat you up in there. Right? Them cops, the sheriffs in Dane County Jail have killed people. Just like they did down here in Texas with Sandra Bland. That's how I know them cops hung her. Or they roughed her up so bad, like that dude in Baltimore, they drove him around. That's how I know the cops down here killed her. Because in Dane County Jail, it was a young lady. She was kind of street, but she was cool. You know what I'm saying? She was out there on the block with us. But she was younger, and she went to jail, you know what I'm saying? And I found out later on down the line that she was dead from some of that. I was like, what happened? And she died in jail. It's like, what happened? It was like, man, they, you know, she was locked up for a couple weeks, and they said that she was unresponsive, and they said that she died from, basically her neck was broke. I found out firsthand what the cops will do is if you rowdy, they'll take you out of the cell block and put you in an isolation cell. But when they get you in an isolation cell where there's no cameras off camera, they'll dive you onto a metal bed. They'll pick you up, especially if you're small. I'm not a small person, so they tried it with me. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm not a small person, so I twisted my neck. I had like a neck pull for a little while. But I don't really got a neck. You know what I'm saying? But they dove her on the bed. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and just post it on my page. You can just post. You can just go to my regular page. I'm gonna go ahead and post it right now, real quick. That's what I'm gonna do for you. I'm just gonna post it real quick because it won't let me. It definitely won't let me put it in any more inboxes. Let me go ahead and copy that. I'm gonna throw it on my page, my dude. You can just jump that off of there. I'm just gonna throw it on my regular page. I'm just gonna post it real quick, even though I'm live right now. You can just go to my page. I'm gonna post it real quick. Anybody can just jump. So you can just click this link, bro. You just hop in there with me. It's gonna take you straight up in here. I'm gonna go back to my Instagram joint. Okay. So yeah, it's on my page right now. Just tap on it. It's gonna bring you straight into the live stream. We can just chop it up and keep it real. But let me continue. So hidden women, I'm talking about really going upside their head. I'm talking about the stuff like for me it's difficult watching the what's love gotta do because I don't do it anymore. But so it's tough for me to watch it. But the cycle was I grew up getting beat a lot. My dad beat on my mom. I saw it a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was just what it was. So it was part of the life. I was born in the 70s. It was part of life. You know what I'm saying? And back then, you were really a punk if you didn't check it. If your woman got out of line and you didn't check her immediately, you was soft. So things changed. The conversation changed, just like the LGBTQ community. You got ran completely off the block if you was on that cross-dressing, whatever stuff. Like you got ran off the block. You couldn't even hang out. That's why they're so flagrant now. Y'all don't know. A couple of decades ago, you could not really even. You couldn't be on the block. You couldn't come outside. You couldn't. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't come to the park picnics. None of that stuff. Right. So it's just times have just changed. Right. So, but it's hard when you that's what you see as a child. It's hard to look at it differently as you growing up. And I brought that out a little bit, but this was like just how the struggle was. It wasn't like, I mean, if somebody jumped on here like I wanted to fight you and you ran, you know, I would press the laugh button. You know what I'm saying? Off the rip. Because that's you jumping on the screen and you saying something that there's no fact check for, right? In my neighborhood, there was no private fighting going on. In my neighborhood, you know, when somebody fought, everybody knew about it. Was y'all neighborhood like that? In my neighborhood, everybody knew who got whooped last night, you know, or at school. Y'all agree? Sure. Uh, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I remember, and my man, you know, T Ray, Pat, LP, used to go down to Milwaukee to a club, to this club called man, it's messing with my head right now. It's in the back of my head. It was they had gutted out a grocery store, I think it was, and they had bars on both sides. It was huge. The Matrix, that's what it was called, the Matrix. We used to go down to the Matrix just to see them fools fight afterward. I mean, we was trying to pull chicks too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Big B and them. We used to go down there to pull chicks too. Don't get me wrong. Walkie chicks is cool. But for the most part, we would go down there, get faded, and smoke blunts and sit there and watch them walkie dudes fight afterwards. That was part of the entertainment. You know, so that's just the neighborhood I grew up in. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, like, it wasn't like there wasn't role models. Stefan Blue, it was plenty of role models. You know, the Winston family. It was pretty. It was it was role models. Regina King. It was role models. You know, Big Dennis. You know what I'm saying? Like it was role models for us. But like to us, it was just like they wasn't doing nothing that any of us wanted to do when we got grown. I'm just trying to shoot it to you straight. Like they wasn't living lives that any of us wanted to live. So wasn't nobody chasing that. I was baptized in Jesus' name in Madison, Wisconsin by a really great guy. But he wasn't living the kind of, he worked for the Department of Motor Vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to work for the Department of Motor Vehicles? Whose aspiration? I'm not saying it's a bad job for all you DMV folks, and down here it's called DPS. I'm not saying it's a bad job. You feed your family. But to a young person, it's all idealistic. It just wasn't sexy enough. All right. But so we had role models. Will Boyd Smith Jr., right? We had role models. Jonathan Briscoe. We had role models. People that were doing it the right way. It's just none of them were doing anything. Where are the, like here in Dallas, like it's a lot going on, but I would have never have seen like networking between our people and our people having money and having businesses. Like in the Midwest or in smaller towns, like them kids still need to see that. We just didn't have that. We didn't have like business owners that own their own stuff like that. And if they was, they got ran out and washed out so quick. It's like, whoa. So for us, that's what it was. For us, it was basically, it's like, for us, it was, sports, the drug game, the gangs, right? This what it was: sports, the drug, the dope, the drug game, and gangs. It's pretty much all it was. You wanted to be involved in one of those three. A lot of us were involved in all three of them. So when I look back and I reflect on where I was, like I've been going through some stuff recently. Folks running around with guns and talking crazy. Folks at the job, hoobla hoobla, talking crazy. Like I might be an older guy, you know what I'm saying? But like, since when you see certain things, you perceive certain things differently. You still have to take care of yourself and put yourself first. Don't get me wrong, but it's harder for you to be moved by certain activity and certain aggression when you grew up around it. So if you look at people, if a gun starts shooting and you look at people's reaction to it, people who aren't around gunshots are going to stand there. People who didn't grow up around fighting, if a fight breaks out, they don't know what to do. If I was to break it down to you, if you've been around real gunfire and real gunshots and you don't have a pistol and you hear gunshots, you get to the ground. You can tell people who never been around gunfire before, they take off running. You can't outrun a bullet. You just can't do it. Sadly, this is good information for like many of you because there's so many active shooters. So you have to hit the ground. Just like in a fire, the smoke inhalation will kill you. So you have to stop, drop, and roll or crawl or whatever. Get up out of there. Okay? So I'm just shooting to you real. If a fight breaks out, you don't want to have your back to a fight. Ever. Bagging away with your people with you, that's how you do it. Never, if somebody pulls a knife out or a bat out, don't turn your back to somebody with a knife or a bat. How can you defend yourself from them hitting you or stabbing you if you're like this? So if you haven't really been through a lot, when people hop up and they talk real loud and they get real aggressive, they're waving weapons around and stuff like that. If you haven't been through stuff like that, you're going to perceive that a whole different way. If you do stuff like that around a person and they're just calm, you know that person has some experience with that. Sadly, but they do. Being happy and excited about what I have going on now, being thrilled about the opportunities presented to me, how do I speak on it? Every person that I help and every person that I touch is personal for me. Okay, it's personal for me. Having an online coaching academy is personal for me. It is. I'm not glorifying what I used to do by talking about it. I'm letting y'all know how sad my life was and why I'm so happy now and why it's really difficult for y'all to touch that. If I had to hurt one of you or take one of your lives, or wherever the case may be, it's because I'm trying to protect what I've built. I'm trying to protect what I've established. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Everybody should feel that way. If you hurt somebody or take somebody's life, it has to be in defense. It has to be in defense of the life that you built, the family that you have. People should respect that. And if they don't, it's a them problem, not a you problem. Handle your business. So reflecting on where I was then to where I'm at now, if I do something now, it's not me going back to who I was. It's me standing on the right to protect what I've built. And many of you didn't know that I used to live like that. I used to go through those things. So now you can understand. If when I put the law down, I move around, I say, this is it. That's it. This is over with. This is done. I mean that, because I may not have had anything to protect or to really, all the fighting and shooting, whatever was going on. It wasn't over anything. Now that I've built up a career, now that I've started a business, now that I have huge interests, tech inventor, right? Now that I have all author, now I have all these things going for myself, I have a lot more to protect. So people run around telling what they're going to do, what they're supposed to do, what they want to do, all stuff like that. You'd be talking to somebody that has more now to protect. So of course I'm going to do that. If y'all hearing the news, Tariq Muad'Dib, shot 2 people, it's not because I lost my mind or because I'm an ex-con. I just want to go back to jail. No, it's not like that. It's because Taibu has over time, the last couple of decades, became conscious, changed his name, live a much better life. I build people now. Don't try to stop that. Don't get in the way of that. I don't get nothing for you. You don't say nothing to me. Fine. I am building people. Folks out there need to hear. They need the motivation, the information, the push, right? And the coaching. I'll talk about, like, when you talk about things on there, like you go online, you look at things without having ever, I'm 40, I'll be 40, without having ever had anything in my background at all that had to do with sexual violence or nothing like that. Somebody jump on there and could use the whole Me Too thing and put something online, and everybody jumped on it. I was like, what? But people that had known me for a while, they was like, nah, shorty, you bogus. Y'all tripping out there, whatever, whatnot. Like, but it really caught steam because it's just so easy, especially with African man. It's just so easy to be like, oh yeah, that's him. Well, I knew something was wrong with him. How did you know? You don't even know me. And the crazy part about it is it took maybe a couple of days to get people to consider the source of their information, right? It's like, what's the best analogy you can have, right? So, someone that always steals cars, known for stealing cars, right? Police and already dealt with them for stealing cars, whatever. It's like that person right there accusing somebody, right, of stealing their car. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like, are you kidding me? How can a person steal a stolen car? It just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stole a car from me, I stole from somebody else. It wasn't even your car. That's how ridiculous the accusation was when it went out. Nobody knew it. This person has done this 1,000 times. This person's, a little bit off, needs some psychiatric treatment. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, everybody was just like, oh, for real. When you are a certain way over a certain amount of time, it's tough to change. If you can get that thing done, though, life is spectacular. Life is spectacular. It's as tough as it is to change people. If you can get that thing done, life is spectacular. I got the nerve to have got fever now. I got the nerve to have bumped into some people that can help make my dreams come true. I got the nerve to have formed some new LLCs and applying for new business lines of credit now. You know what I'm saying? I have the nerve, the audacity to be doing these things. Yeah. And I think about this. If you're stuck in a situation and you go to get advice from people and you take their advice and things still aren't looking up, then you need to change your circle. Just simply by accepting good advice from people. If people tell you that this, so you should try this, try it. What's the sense in asking them? What's the sense in thinking that you have somebody good in your life if you ask them for advice and you try it and you never try it? That was a big mistake I made. I got good friends. These guys are salted earth guys. I never took their advice. Ever. I don't think I took anybody's advice. The problem with taking advice, people, is this. It's never going to be what you want to hear. If you ask me for my advice, I'm definitely not going to tell you what you want to hear. All right? Keep it real. You're going to be mad at me. Yeah. So, man, just reflecting on what was, what is, and what will be. What will be? You got the African Messiah. You got the versus, the police state. You got. Then I was going to change the name of that book. I had an epiphany about that to write it down real quick. But more books coming from Woody, like motivational speaking, getting my time back to write books, and not just books that are social justice books, but to write creatively. I have some creative writing to do. I really do. RVing across the country, right? Getting the RV across the country. That's gonna be cool. Traveling, across the different continents, taking in the sights and sounds, creative writing, getting you guys information, seeing foreign lands. That's what will be for me. Like, that's what it comes down to. The last week, the last 7 days, a real challenge. And that's the whole thing, people. Don't judge yourself based on perfection. Judge yourself based on productivity. You know, how productive can you be? Judge yourself based on how many people are blessed because of your presence. Judge yourself on that. I reflect on what was. When I was reflecting on what was, like everybody can gravitate towards that. If you're having it tough right now, let me help you out. If you're having it tough right now, there's only two ways out of that. Two. The first way is you die. You did. I'm not encouraging suicide. I'm just saying, like, you mess around and have the unlucky opportunity, whatever. I'm just saying that's. I was literally on my way as a jailbird, as somebody that continued to go back to jail. I was on my way to literally catching a bit long enough to where I would die in prison, basically. For those of you that don't know, in the movies, it's not like that in real life. In real life, a sound will go out over all the officers' speakers. They'll call everybody in. They'll shut down the rec yards, and everybody gets to sit there in the window and watch them gurney wheel somebody to the infirmary out the back door. So I'm just saying, like, that was one way for me to get out of that lost mentality I was in. The second way, the only other way to come out of that lost mentality that you're in, that loser, that defeatist, depressed mentality, is to point the thumb. To realize that you have the control. And that what you put your effort energy to, that's what's going to be the tail of the tape. That's going to be the hallmark and the catalyst of achievement, progress, and success for you, as you point the thumb. As long as you're pointing the finger at the world, you're going to be in pain, you're going to be hurt, you're going to be disappointed. As soon as you point the thumb, that's when you take control. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that because you've been through so much trauma and you want to be the victim so bad. You're not. You're not. Yes, you've been hurt, mangled, mauled, bruised, left, abandoned, but you're not a victim. You're not a victim. Because you're still here. So if your next choice after that bad situation that happened to you, and bad things happen to Titan, trust me, your next choice after that, your response, that's where the control lies. That's where the control lies. I have a 4-step formula that helped me come out of my mess. When I became conscious, it's 4 steps. Man, this fruity drink is good. 4 steps. Proven. Right? Proven success model. Any goal you have. So look in the descriptions, look in the comment sections, inbox me for it. I'll send you the free gift that I have set for all of you. It's EFC workbook. Look at it, download it today, man. It's Taibu Muad'Dib. I really appreciate y'all time. I'm not going to keep y'all the whole hour. Got it out my chest. I used to be a piece of bleep. At present, I'm just now experiencing the first fruits of 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years of hard labor, of working tirelessly on myself. I'm just now experiencing. Y'all see it on Facebook, Instagram. Y'all see the posts I've been making. I did the Shirts Off show. How many people bold enough to do a podcast Shirts Off? It's not just about the physical form. It's just how many of you are comfortable in your own skin. You're not worried about what people will say. Love it. Love it. Still working on that verse, y'all. I don't know where the sheets at. Still working on that verse. I got to get that for you guys. Taibu Muad'Dib right here. Gonna let you guys do what you do. Just want you to know I appreciate all of you. I really do. All right, let's get it right. Go to StreamYard. We're going to share this thing. All right.
Good evening, everyone.
That's the show.
Taibu Muad'Dib, host,
For joining me.
podcast entertainer, author, motivational speaker.
The issue of gun violence isn't going away because there are
Every
millions of
weeknight,
guns in circulation.
9:30-ish p.m. We go crazy. In fact, we going nuts right now. Hit it, Shay. Come on, a little bit more. Yeah. It's cold out here, y'all. And I'm telling you one thing. It's amazing. How come they don't know? No one's life is the Cosby Show. Killer cops is nothing new to melanated people, bro. Not in the America that locks us up for mega busting, legalized prostitution so the mob can get their cut. CIA agents bringing dope in from the south and spread it through the hood so we can take each other out. The sadness in the hood isn't just some recent shit. It's the same thing that you can see on the slave ship. Trauma passed through generations lead to a peculiar life. Can't believe in freedom, even if one of your parents white. I'ma do it right, cause I'm conscious and I know the way. I got roots in Africa. Pittsburgh was my birthing place. International businessman from inmate 15208. African Messiah, dog. Someone had to say today. All you want is metaphors about the club and freaking horse. Stacking up your paper, flashy cars, and them foreign tours. Don't you know it's war? They coming after you with all they got. It starts out with Congress, yeah. Them the folks who scheme and plot. Once they pass the laws, it's on you and I to know what's up. And since we don't, that's how come the jails are jam-packed with us. I got my fist raised. And unity is in my heart. No matter who you are, come and live your truth. That's how it starts. Yeah. That's how it starts. Go get 'em. Go, 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 go. Don't you know it's war? They coming after you with all they got. All you want is metaphors. International businessman. Can't believe in freedom. Pleasure to meet each and every one of you. Taibu Muad'Dib and Shay. This is Live Your Truth. Pull up a chair. Get your popcorn ready. Let's make it happen together. We appreciate you for joining us.
I think we're learning a lot about each other, man. On Live Your Truth. I'm gonna continue to give y'all my story. I'm gonna get my books back in the studio. I'm gonna read to y'all from my books. We got to get the Citizens Justice League going. For us to have freedom in the sense that people say it, we have to have our own. So we have to apply to United Nations for sovereignty. 10,000 applications. I'm accepting them at the Muad'Dib Global official page. I'll type since you guys are still hanging around, I'll type that in the comment section real quick for you. So you have it. Leaders Inspiring Voices. Leaders Inspiring Voices. at wordpress.com. At wordpress.com. All right. So that right there, that's how you get to the official Muad'Dib Global page. That's going to set you up right there. Go to the services tab, and what'll pop up. No, go to the contact us tab and leave your information, and I'll reach out to you after I send you the application for citizenship to the Citizens Justice League, and we will have our own authority base and sovereign country right here in America's soil, because we're due. All right. But that's how we're going to fix that situation. On a different tip, like I said, if you have issues getting unstuck, I'm the guy. I want to make sure that you have the right strategies to get unstuck and begin taking meaningful steps toward your goals. Tiger Muad'Dib, certified achievement coach, man, podcast entertainer. Love y'all. That is the show. Appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow at 9:30.